of the west coast of the Western Cape took an absolute hammering this past weekend. Vredendal and Citrusdal were both cut off by floods for a period. In Rawsonville, over 300 people are sheltering in a local hall after the rain affected their homes. And the SA Weather Service this morning issued a warning all the way from Cape Town all along the Garden Route right up to Plettenberg Bay, warning about damaging winds today. Talk about Cape of Storms, living up to its name. It's crazy. Let's get an update from the Weather Service, and I'm joined now by meteorologist Samkelisiwe Thwala. Thank you so much for your time this evening. So the West Coast took a real hammering. Just talk to us about the impacted areas and whether the worst is now over for that region.
Okay, thank you, and good evening to the viewers as well. Basically, with the impacts, most of the impacts that actually did occur were from the previous system, as you mentioned, with those floodings that actually happened over the West Coast. Mostly that is basically impacts that occurred from the previous system, which actually occurred last week. However, for this weekend system into Monday, Tuesday, mostly we were expecting some strong winds along the coastal towns, as well as the coastal areas of South Africa, from the west coast extending all the way to the southeastern coastline of KZN. So at the moment, we do have those strong winds that have been reported, winds touching about 60 to about 70 kilometers per hour, mostly along the coastal regions of the country.
Yeah, and we've heard that it's all those towns stretching from Cape Town right up, and you said into KwaZulu-Natal. We've heard as well that it's Plettenberg Bay. Are those winds turning out to be as strong as was feared? We're seeing that they're talking about gale force winds. Are those likely to get worse overnight?
Yes, ma'am, the winds are actually quite strong. We are expecting the winds to persist from this evening into tomorrow. However, on Tuesday late evening, we should be expecting the winds and the waves to start moderating during the course of the day into early hours of Wednesday.
Yeah, so we've seen a lot of rain. We've seen it right up to Vredendal, which is quite far north along the Western Cape coast. We're seeing it all along the coastline. How much of this is normal and how much of this is due to weather patterns affected, I think, by, is it El Nino or El Nina? Which one is it?
Okay, basically with regards to the rainfall, this is absolutely normal for the time of the year, considering that the western parts of the country, or the western half of the country, which includes the Western Cape, Northern Cape, as well as the parts of the Eastern Cape, is mostly receiving mostly the winter rainfall. So this is absolutely normal for the part of the year. So yes, it is absolutely normal for the part of the year, considering that most cold fronts are actually occurring in winter. And with this previous one, we did have a cold front that was fairly up north, all the way to the northern parts of the Northern Cape, and then starting to spread over the central and eastern parts of the country.
All right, thank you so much for your time, meteorologist Samkelisiwe Thwala from the SA Weather Service. So still that alert for damaging wind, gale force wind in parts as well, all the way along the coast from Cape Town right up past the Garden Route and beyond.